Hey everybody, so my name's Emily Spring. I am one of the physician assistants at the MaxWell Clinic. I've been here for about 4 years, and I love functional medicine. Those of you who are my patients and work with me closely know that I am definitely committed to the curiosity of driving to the root cause. So a little bit so one day I'll do a talk on the matrix, our functional medicine matrix. And if you've been a patient of ours for a while, before I jump in, a few housekeeping. If the internet goes down, if my internet goes down for some odd reason, just wait right there. We'll reboot it back up. So that's housekeeping number one. The second thing is I can see your lovely names, but how we're going to communicate in this is through the Q&A box. I'll probably call it the chat box sometimes, but that's what I'm talking about, the Q&A box. So you can just type stuff in the Q&A box if you need to communicate with me. So I was saying the functional medicine matrix, functional medicine, there's a lot happening. We're organizing, for those of you that have been with us for a while, we're organizing biology into systems-based biology. So we're thinking about all the systems that can be contributing to your symptomatology. We're thinking about antecedents, things that maybe came before you or in your perinatal period. We're thinking about triggers and mediators of disease. If you've heard Cliff talk about this, you've heard Dr. Woods and Dr. Ferris talk about lifestyle medicine. So we're thinking about how does nutrition influence health and physicality and sleep and stress and movement and relationship and community. We're thinking about all of this stuff. And in the middle of those systems on our matrix is mind, body, spirit. So that's kind of analyzing or saying, well, how are what you think and feel and the spiritual essence of you also affecting physicality? And those of you who know me, you know I love that part of the matrix. I love it all, but I love to dabble in that mind-body piece. I find it really, really fascinating. And science, more science is coming out to really validate these principles of mind influencing body. So, and also I like to say to my patients, if you see me kind of making this weird, confused face, we're thinking about a lot of things all the time. To always get you to your MaxWell. So I thought, what do I want to say to people? What do I say a lot? What do I emphasize a lot? And what do I want to bring forth in this talk today? And that was that you are on this journey with you, and how do we restore that relationship with your body? So I'm going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the mind-body connection. We're going to understand how the relationship between you influences your physicality. Like, how could that matter in my health journey? Well, it does. I'm going to tell you about that. We're also going to talk about, we're going to take inventory without judgment of just where you are. Where are you throughout this journey that you've been going on? Where are you in your current relationship? So taking inventory is important. I encourage you to get some paper and a pen if you have that handy, or something to write on. I'm going to ask you some questions later on, so you might want to have that handy. We're going to open up to, what does this restoration with our body look like? What does this collaboration look like? And then I'm going to go into a guided experience with you where you can feel that in your body. Knowledge is just knowledge. We can know what we need to do all day, but until we do it, until we feel it, it doesn't become a part of our new neuronal habits, right? So we're going to use that Q&A box, that chat box, and just say hello. Say hello if you feel like it. And I would encourage you to type in one word. Don't do this if you're driving, right? That if you're safe and in a place where you can use that Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom bar, just give me a hello and tell me one or two words. How do you want to feel when you leave? When you leave this talk today, how do you want to feel? And just go ahead and as you type that in, you're setting that intention, you're claiming that intention for how you want to feel at the end of this. All right, we're getting some hellos. People want to feel free. That's come up a bunch. Driven, uplifted. I love this. I love this. Thanks for playing along with me. I want to open, not in resistance or judgment. I am so glad you're here. We're talking about that today. Awesome. 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 Inspired, relaxed. Hello, everybody. Rebooted. All right. All right. Well, I got you covered. We're going to do that today. So lovely to have you all. I know your time is precious and limited. I'm grateful you came to choose. I'm grateful you chose to come spend it with me today. So what is the mind-body connection? What is this thing, right? I'm reading this quote from the Florida Medical Clinic, and it just says the mind-body connection is this link between a person's thoughts, attitudes, behaviors, and their physical health. That's crazy, right? The mind-body connection is this link. There is a link. There is a connection between what we think, how we feel, what we do, and our physical health, our physicality. Our thoughts and everything else I just mentioned influences physicality. Well, how? I'm going to briefly go into the science. This isn't a science talk today. But if a bear walked into this room, if a bear walked into your room, stuff is going to happen in my body, right? My heart would probably beat fast. My eyes would dilate. I would get up and run likely. My liver would like break down glycogen so that I would have glucose to jump out that window or run. Things are going to happen. The body's going to compensate and shift into survival mode. It's going to shift into sympathetic fight flight for my survival, right? That's great. The body is here to protect us. It's not going to really privilege my immune system, or I'm not really going to maybe need to eat a sandwich in the middle of that sympathetic fight flight. I'm not going to need to make sex hormones. I'm not going to need to be in repair, rest, and digest. Now that would be different if a puppy dog walked into this room, right? My body wouldn't react like that. My body, my physicality, my physiology wouldn't respond that same way. So what's the difference, right? The difference is how my mind perceives that external event, perceives that thing. So the science of that is the mind is telling the brain to tell the hypothalamus to tell the pituitary that it's a stressor, and then the pituitary is going to release certain chemicals, certain neuroendocrine chemicals that allow these parts of us to beat fast and eyes dilate and all the stuff. So a lot of you know this. This is just a refresher. But the difference between, like, how does it know when to launch that? It's the mind, it's the perception. And so that is how we interpret the environment dictates so much of what happens in here. And so this is coming from Bruce Lipton and his biology of belief work. If we change our perception, if we change our belief about life, we can change that signaling. We can change that cell-to-cell signaling and therefore change cell function and obviously gene expression. So that's powerful. What we think influences what's happening on a cellular to cell level. And remember, this isn't everything. This is a both and, right? Your wonderful MaxWell care providers are going to be looking at toxicity and mold and all the systems-based biology, but this is a tool to help all of that work even more. So I'm going to kind of show this to you in real time. So if you're willing to play with me, just go ahead and close your eyes. This is not the guided experience. This is just a little thing. This is a visualization. Now, if you can close your eyes, and if I say picture a rainbow, you can picture a rainbow, then you can visualize. Visualizing is just making it up, So if you're feeling like it, again, if you're not driving, if you're at a place where you can close your eyes, and I'm going to close mine too. And I just want you to picture that you're sitting in your house somewhere. And I want you to go walk into your kitchen or a kitchen, walk into a kitchen. And I want you to visualize that you see this fruit bowl. And in that fruit bowl, there's some yellow bananas. Just visualize it, just make it up. There's some red apples. And there's a pile of lemons, plump yellow lemons. And just take one of these lemons and walk over to the cutting board. And as you cut it open, just visualize yourself cutting it open. All these juices come out. And cut it again to make a wedge, and pick up that wedge of this bright yellow lemon and put it in your mouth. Visualize yourself putting it in your mouth and biting down on this lemon, and all of those sour juices just explode into your mouth. And you can kind of come back to this space and open your eyes. And I'm curious, what happened for you? Most people report that they get this bitter tingling as if they were eating a lemon. And I find that really fascinating. You were sitting right here with me, but you were thinking about eating a lemon and your body had a sensation, your body reacted. So that's another thing. It's not only the perception of what's in front of you, it's the mind through visualization, through worry, through catastrophic thinking, that we can launch this sympathetic pathway in our body. My son plays Mario, and in this Mario thing, there's this part where there's construction, that Mario is walking around the city on top of these construction beams. I try to play, and my hands are so sweaty, my heart is beating. I mean, I'm full-blown kind of panic, even though I'm sitting on my comfy, cozy couch. My body is reacting as if I am up there on those construction beams with Mario, right? So the power of what we think, what we tell the body through the mind and through the senses, it dictates our physiology in that fight flight. And we can talk about this more, and if you've been working with me, you know that it's imperative. If we are going to heal, we have to get out of fight or flight. We have to get out of that. And we have about 60,000 thoughts a day. 5% of those are conscious. So you have a ton of thoughts, a ton of information coming in that could be informing your physiology that might not be in your favor and your benefit. And in my work with people, I love to liberate those emotions and kind of rewire those subconscious thoughts so that they're working in your behalf and we can get you out of fight or flight. So why did I choose this topic with relationship to self, right? It's probably, I like to go after a challenge. It's easier to change perception about something external, something not as close, but the relationship between you and you is a very, very intimate one. It comes with a lot of history, comes with a lot of sometimes baggage. Let me just, mouth watered, love it, okay. Love it, that's awesome. Okay, so I've been in this field for a long time, and I talk to a lot of people. And you're here at the MaxWell Clinic typically because you probably don't feel well. You probably have been on this journey of chronic disease. I ask a lot of people the question, when's the last time you felt well? And sometimes it's years, sometimes it's decades. And it is, I'm not gonna say never, I never say never, but it is pretty hard to walk out of that journey of chronic disease or even just acute disease and not feeling well and be unscathed. Meaning it's pretty hard to navigate that journey of chronic disease and not have it impact or influence what you have come to think about yourself. There's usually some self-judgment there, right? Because the body's not doing what you want it to do. It's not behaving like you want it to behave. And there's this amazing, sweet, loving desire to be vitally well. And there's a block to that. You're doing everything that you know to do. You're taking all the supplements. You're doing everything that your doctors are telling you. And the needle might not be moving. So these are some things that I've observed that people start to repeat in this mental tape that we may or may not be aware of. We're not consciously coming to the table with these stories. But I have observed, and you might even know your own running tape, but sometimes, people start to believe, my body's failing me. I am so broken. I will never be well. What's going to go wrong next, right? If you keep getting no results, or if you have been tired for 3,000 days in a row, then on day 3,001, you're going to expect to be tired again. Hope tends to be, so many patients have said, Emily, hope is really scary, right? Because you've done that before and then you've gotten hurt, right? So, and before we know it, we're in this kind of unconscious, meaning not aware, relationship with our body that's adversarial. It's not doing what you want it to do. So how could you not then feel angry about it, frustrated about it? Blaming the body, right? Judgmental towards the body. No matter what you start to feel, the underlying thing to it is resistance. I think somebody said that, surrendering that resistance. We just start to resent where we are and what's happening. And we just, because we want to be somewhere else. And that very thing is the rub and the inflammation energetically itself. So how do we walk this journey, holding the hope to be vitally well and surrender and that resistance, to accepting where we are? And that can be scary, right? That can be really scary. I know, I mean, if you've ever been in an argument with somebody, you know, like you're just kind of over there and you might not be doing this visibly, but on the inside, you're all kind of contracted and wadded up, and you might even want to apologize. You might even want it to be over, but to go from this to I'm sorry and I love you and I forgive you is the hardest part. I definitely observed that with my son a lot, and it reflects that in me where I do the same. Like just it's so hard to go from oh, so mad at you to oh, how do we partner again? And that's what I want to bridge the gap for you today. And I want you to feel that in your body. So why does this matter? Because if the dialogue, whether you're aware of it or not, has become, I hate you, you know, I'm broken, you're never going to work right, you know, what's wrong with you? The body can feel that. The body can sense that. It's just like if your partner or your best friend is saying to you, when are you going to get it together? You're never going to be well. Like, I wish you were different, right? That doesn't feel good. That doesn't make you want to rest, repair, recover, heal, right? It puts the body in a defensive state, in a sympathetic fight or flight state. And then we're using most of our energy and resources to survive a lot of stressors, remember symptoms, biology, but then it becomes to survive this negative dialogue that is appropriately there. We understand why it's there, but it's not serving us. It's not serving healing. And so that's why it matters. And I want to remind you that no matter where you are, I can say this a million times, but it's okay. And what you're feeling is valid and appropriate. Feelings are meant to be felt. I say that so many times to my 6-year-old son. He's like tired of talking about feelings. But let me check this Q&A real quick. All right. Okay. The other thing that my intention today is to remind you, you know, if that's been your experience for days, weeks, months, years, decades, right? That we're just mad at our body. And even you may or may not be able to hear me today, but I want to remind you the truth. And the truth is that your body is this magical being that we probably don't even understand fully. And it's always working on your behalf. It is tirelessly working for you. The body is designed to heal. The body is created for you to flourish. It's infinitely wise. It's always self-correcting. It is perfectly wonderfully made. It is the vehicle in which you came here to live and experience life. It is the vehicle in which you came here to live your purpose and do what you're meant to do in this world. And even if that doesn't feel true right now with where you are on your journey, I just want to keep saying that to remind you that that is the truth. And the minute that you start to remember that, the body, this is what I want to say, the body is always responding appropriately to the response that it's been given, right? So, if we poison the body, right, it's gonna, if we've got a toxin, a mold, an allergy, an infection, the body's gonna respond appropriately. But if we're also kind of berating the body and judging the body at every turn, the body will be appropriately responding to that. So what we want to do today is, as you're navigating this challenging journey for you, we want to try, how do I come in unison with the body again? How do I start to work in collaboration with it? How do I have profound acceptance for where I am? It's like many of you can do this for other people, right? If it was your child or your friend or your partner, you can show up and you can give grace and compassion and love and support. But when it comes to doing that for ourselves, it can be harder. And as the moment you start to remember that you're here to care for this as well, to partner with this, and we can kind of walk this journey with self-acceptance and love, it doesn't mean it's always going to be perfect. It doesn't mean that you're always going to be happy about it. But even at your worst, even when you're having a rough day and you're pissed and you're mad and you're angry and you're frustrated, how do you hold space for you for that just to be okay? Acceptance is this in the body. Acceptance to me feels like, right? I'm having a bad day. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed. How am I going to get all this done? I'm just accepting where I am. So that is where we are. But this impacts healing, right? All right. So we're to the point where I'm going to ask you a few questions. We're going to take inventory of where you are with your body. So get something to type on. You can use a note in your phone. You can use some paper. I'm also going to play a little background music. I think the background music just, I don't know, it's like a little elevator music. You know, gives us something to listen to. And I'll be speaking over that. So the purpose of this is not to judge, oh, I'm still here, right? Or, oh, there's anger. It's to see it fully so that we can love it and accept it, right? It's like cleaning out a closet and you're like, oh, I didn't realize that box was back there. It doesn't mean anything. It's just there. It's just an emotion. It's just a resonance of energy. And if you can see the box and then clear it out and whatever, you know? So how do we hold what comes up in the next little bit without any judgment? And allow whatever comes up to write it down or to type it out or whatever. So how would you describe the relationship between you and your body? Maybe writing down some words or emotions, whatever comes up is fine. You don't have to follow these prompts, they're just prompts. How do you currently feel about your body? Whatever is coming up is okay. Don't be ashamed of it. Just let it be seen. What is your current dialogue? Meaning, I say that a lot to my patients, but what is the running tape? What do you say to yourself about yourself a lot? What is kind of swirling up here about you? Mm. How do you currently feel about your diagnosis or your symptoms, or just another little prompt? And maybe for a minute think, all right, you know, how do you think your body feels? Your body's in this journey with you as well. Mm. Mm-hmm. Some of you are typing them in. Make sure you're capturing these for yourself, because you'll want to go back and find a more supportive belief. But we're going to tip into maybe expanding, thinking about this differently. How do you want to feel? If we wave a magic wand today and you're exactly where you want to be, how does that feel? What does that feel like? Dream, go there, just imagine. How do you want to feel when you're exactly where you want to be? What would it feel like to know that your body was working on your behalf? What would it feel like to be in collaboration, partnership with your body? What would it feel like if this resistance is gone and you're like working together? Right now, not when things are perfect, but even in the pit, even in the challenge. How are you going to work with this vessel of your body when you're working with this vessel of your body? Like together, what does that feel like? You guys are typing in some pretty things. Ease and flow, liberating, incredible. Breathing normal, anxious and free. And anything else you want to capture, anything that's coming up, just write it down, let it come up. Just take a little more minute here. I truly believe, that if you want to have health, you have to have freedom in your mind and your body and your spirit. So I love looking at what's blocking that, what's blocking my freedom, what's blocking my ability to be in collaboration with myself. Your care team can get you so far. Your care team can provide the cutting edge tools and the cutting edge supplements and the cutting edge of the cutting edge. It's like, how do we get you to open to receive a full healing? And what if these symptoms, what if this journey is unfolding exactly as it should? What if these symptoms are the very thing that's saying, hey, what about this? What if they're trying to get your attention in a loving way? Again, I don't mean that this is easy. It's not fun to accept a headache. It's not fun to accept chronic fatigue. But just surrendering the resistance to it, then what if the body can come in and utilize those resources? So I encourage you now, really good answers. I encourage you now just to put your pens and paper away. And we're going to go into that guided experience. The point of this guided experience is just to feel in your body what it is like to accept and embrace where you are, to feel in your body in this moment in time what it's like when that resistance is gone, to feel in this moment what it's like to restore that relationship with yourself, because only you can do that. So, let me check the Q&A one more time. Just settle in and close your eyes. I'm going to turn off my video and just close your eyes. The music will still be playing. And take a few breaths. If you're sitting in a chair, just relax into the chair, put your feet on the ground, or you can choose to lie down and experience this guided experience. And start to breathe in and out of your belly, letting your belly rise on the inhale and letting your belly fall on the exhale. The mind loves to think. So let's wrap the attention of the mind around the breath, allowing the mind to follow the inhale from start to finish. Giving yourself permission to be fully here. You have nowhere else to be and nothing else to do. Giving yourself permission just to be with what comes up in these next few minutes. Letting the ground support you or the chair support you. Just settle in. Using the breath as your anchor point to be here fully. You can breathe through anything that arises. And before we begin, this is the moment. You are the place where this resistance ends. You are the place where this dialogue and this judgment is surrendered. And today we're going to come into profound acceptance for whatever you are feeling, ending the judgment of self, and shifting into more love and compassion between you and you. Cultivating a loving relationship with all of you, because all of it is valid. And I want you just to play, there's no way to do this wrong, play with just welcoming and embracing and accepting all the thoughts that you have right now. If one limiting belief about your health pops up, just accept that that's what's in your thought right now. Let it be. There's nothing to fix or change, just let it be here fully. Accepting it, just like you would accept something that your friend is telling you. Just welcoming it, embracing it. It just is where you are right now, and that's okay. No longer denying yourself love because of it. Just opening up to letting yourself think everything that is swirling around in there, the current dialogue, the running tape, whatever it is, just, I accept you. I accept that this is where I am. As if a friend or a partner or a child was maybe doing something you didn't like, you still accept them and love them and hold space for them just to have that tantrum. Give yourself space for that today. Welcoming and embracing any thought, any emotions. If anger is present, let it be present. If frustration is present, if resistance is present, just say, I see you. Okay, you're here. That's where I am. Let it be. Feel it in your body. No longer judging yourself because it is there. Holding it in a very loving, compassionate way. And notice what happens in your body as you just let it be. Welcoming and accepting, embracing all of your symptoms. Holding love and compassion for your physical body just as it is in this moment. Not when you're well or when you get there, or when you lose the weight or when you have energy, but right now, all of you needs to be held and loved for where you are. Almost like you're wrapping a hug or compassion or self-care to that part of you that's hurting, to that part of you that doesn't feel optimal. Accepting it fully. Extending love and compassion to that deep inner part of you. Maybe saying, I'm sorry for making you wrong. I forgive you and I surrender resistance to you. Loving, welcoming, and accepting your body just as it is, where it is, how it feels. Stop making it broken. Stop judging it and denying yourself love because of your symptoms. What would your body feel like to be loved fully in this moment? Even at its worst, even when it's not performing optimally. How does it feel to love it anyway? Welcoming and accepting and embracing your journey, your path. Only you know what that's like to be on the ride that you've been on. Honoring that part of you that has walked that path, that is here right now. Honoring all of the thoughts, emotions, and feelings that have come up along the way. Trusting and knowing that it's all happening as it should. It doesn't make sense, and it's not always fun and pleasant. With all the love and the compassion, we do understand that you're meant to be here in this very moment because you're meant to be here. And no matter what you've experienced, the road ahead can be different. Just accepting that where you are is where you are. Surrendering this comparison to a future self that is different. No longer forcing and berating and the judging the body for being inadequate or wrong, while also still holding hope and the desire for vitality and optimal wellness and freedom and peace and love and joy. Notice what it feels like when you start to open your heart to cultivating a loving relationship with yourself, with your body. Maybe softly and quietly saying, I love you. And I'm sorry, and I forgive you. Cultivating this loving relationship with every thought that you think, every emotion that you feel, your physical body as it is currently, every point along your journey. What is softened in your body? What feels more open? Quietly and inwardly saying, if it feels right, I commit to cultivating a loving relationship with you, even in the hard times. I commit to opening my heart in the presence of challenges. Thank you. Thank you for the work that you have done tirelessly on my behalf. Thank you for your infinite wisdom, direction, and knowledge. I commit to, from this moment forward, restoring my relationship with you, treating you kinder, treating you with more self-love and more self-compassion. And even though that may feel uncomfortable, I commit to trying. And just taking that in, what it feels like to be on this journey and in partnership with your body. Again, it doesn't mean it's always easy, but you're able to hold space for the anger and the frustration as it arises. No longer denying yourself love because of what you're feeling, thinking, or the physicality of your body. Opening up the heart to this feeling of freedom, this feeling of peace on this journey, this feeling of hope and vitality. When you come into loving yourself, when you come into loving and accepting and embracing and welcoming each part of you, just take in what that feels like. What is available to you now as you surrender the resistance to all of it, to thoughts, to feelings, to emotions, to symptoms, to the whole path. Trusting and knowing that this is always available here for you. This acceptance and this embrace. And that you have the wisdom and the courage to do that, to give that to yourself, to extend that to yourself at the lowest points, at the hardest times. Love is there, peace is there. It may not make sense, and we're never going to find it through the mind, but we can hold compassion for all of us in the body. Just taking that in, feeling that freedom, feeling that liberation, feeling that partnership. Allowing whatever emotion is coming up to come up. Coming back to your body, coming back to the breath, coming back to this present moment. You can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And you can open your eyes when you're ready. And I hope that that allowed you to give you some insights and information and experiential kind of way to do that for your body. Are you always going to be perfect and hold this? No, but you can use your barometer of, oh, I'm again, to say, oh, I'm just beating myself up. And how do I give myself a hug? Or you can repeat what we just did. I want to tell you a few things. I heard a quote this morning from Panache Desai, and he said, peace isn't the absence of this stuff. Peace isn't the absence of anger or illness or dis-ease. Peace is the inclusion of everything that we experience. Peace is the inclusion of it. Peace is being able to find peace in the middle of it. And we're not accepting it to the point that we want to allow it. I know these MaxWell care providers, we're going to keep digging and keep finding, but how you hold you through the journey of it is so important. Another thing I'll share is I had a patient this week, and she didn't even really need an appointment, but she wanted to keep her appointment to tell me all of her wins. And she said, this is what I would pass on to people. Be persistent in the middle of it. The body is designed to heal. You just have to collaborate with it. So this collaboration piece, this acceptance is the very ticket to getting out of fight or flight and letting all of these things that you're doing take hold. So, as we close, it's just really been an honor to be here with you. I would say type in one word or a few words how you want to treat your body starting today. And one thing you will do to show that to your body, to really continue to commit to coming back to this partnership, this restoration of collaboration with yourself. True happiness is the absence of the pursuit of happiness. I love Peter Crown. Yes, that's awesome. Oh, yes. Awesome. Yes, compassion and grace moving forward. Your responses have been amazing. Thank you for playing with me in the Q&A and in the chat. You guys know this stuff. I know this stuff. We all need to be reminded though, right? It's not about being perfect. It's about coming back to it when we're off and just coming back, choosing again. Thankful, love and acceptance, giving myself permission to breathe, grace. Letting go of false expectations. Man, this has been a beautiful time with you all. And I'm thankful for you being here. And if you need more support with this, we are here at the MaxWell Clinic to help you. So we're glad that you're following along in your journey, and we're glad to be following along in your journey, and hopefully walking away with some valuable insights and experiences today. So I think that's it. Awesome, feeling better. Okay, I'm gonna sign off. I'll see you guys soon. All right, bye everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure. Bye, oh, it's so good to see all of you. All right, y'all have a good one. Bye.